Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Derek Reilly. Today we're looking at the Mercedes-Benz eVito, and you might be saying to yourself, Derek, you've had this on the channel already. But this is with the bigger battery, takes DC fast charging. It's a real game changer. Let's get stuck into the details. If you're interested in all things EV and want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future updates. So we are back with some commercial Mercedes-Benzes, and when I posted the original eVito and any of the electric vans, people talk about why is the range so small, why is the battery so small, and it's all about that weight per license issue. So what they've done is they've increased the battery size. We're going to go through the chat about it. They've increased the range from about 160 WLTP to 315, so it's a 70% increase in battery capacity. So it starts to make a bit more sense to a lot more businesses. Let's walk around the van, look in the back, take a look in the cab, and then take it out for a drive. Front on, very similar to the old eVito, you're going to have the exact same. It doesn't look any different to the combustion engine one, so it's coming out of the same factory. You have your daytime running lights, you've got your halogen bulbs. This version has fog lights, but the grille itself is the same, large Mercedes 3-pointed star. The only difference with this and the original one that we looked at on the channel was the charging port was at a different location. The charging port is now up on the top front left wing. Some people say, oh, it's a very crash prone area. If you're going to get into a crash, there's as much chance anywhere around the van, in my opinion. But you have AC, and charging on AC takes 6.5 hours. It's a 60 kilowatt hour usable. And on DC, that's the difference as well, because the other one only had AC. With DC, you can go from 10 to 80% in about 50 minutes. So if you are utilizing this vehicle out and about during the day and you need to DC fast charge, you're going to get a lot of charge in there as quick as it can possibly go. So that's on a 50 kilowatt charger as well. Moving down along the side, you have, what have we got in here? 225s, 5517s, steel Dunlops. You have your electric badging again, so at the front you won't really know unless you spot this cutout with the electric badging with that blue E, your indicator light, large wing mirrors, and I'm a big fan of it, but they don't retract, but good and visible. This one has the branding on it, but obviously you won't need it with the branding on it. On the original van, the charging was where the fuel goes on the regular combustion engine one, and because you have to open it to open the flap. People were leaving comments going, you have to leave the door open, but as you can see, you didn't have to leave the door open. Large sliding door, and it's same as the other one, it's got 2 sliding doors on it. It's a really good, you're talking €2 pallets within the back of it. You can see those double sliding doors are a real asset in any van, be that electric or otherwise, but as always, Mercedes-Benz does a nice job of paneling and flooring their vans. Some dimensions on the A2 length, which is this one, which is the slightly shorter one. It's 5.1 meters, height of 1.9 and width of 2.2 with a cargo volume of 6 cubic meters. And you can see on screen there some internal, external and overhang dimensions. And then with the A2 length, the actual gross weight is 3.2 kgs. 3.2 tons with a curb weight of nearly 2.4, so giving you that difference of a payload of just over 800 kgs. And with a slightly longer one that's available, the A3 length, you can see it's nearly 5.4 meters long, with a height the same as the other one of 1.9, a width the same as 2.2, and a cargo volume of 6.6 cubic meters, which then has the same gross weight. The curb weight is slightly more, so the payload of is less of, and that brings it down to 772 kgs. And there's a gap in underneath the seat. And the difference with this and the original eVito, so this is Gen 2, is it comes in an A2 and an A3 length, so you have that variant of it as well. But pretty much all the way along, good size as well for going into underground car parks or multi-story car parks. It's under 2.1 meters high. Let's spin it around and have a look at the back. Around the back of the Vito, nothing much has changed. You've got your high-level brake light. You've got your fairly decent size vertical brake lights, and they're in the cutout so that when the door opens, passengers can still see it. You have the ability of opening it as well from 90 degrees to 180 degrees. On the door, you'll see that E as well to signify the electrified version. And then around, in the back of the Mercedes-Benz eVito. Because this is the shorter length, the A2, you can get the A3 as well, but plenty space, plenty size. You've got 8 tie-off points on the ground, 2 sliding doors. You've got a nice light strip over the back door and a little halogen light on the side door as well. Plenty tie-off points, good paneling. Because of the battery increase, the weight has decreased about 200 kgs for the A2, about 220, 230 kgs for the A3. And so yeah, if you're a weight carrier and you need to carry that weight, that's a bit of a downside, but definitely I think more people are interested in the range, and this will be used for routes like post, like logistics, like tradespeople that know it's a confined 200, 250 they do on a regular basis. So great to see this. You've got that space underneath that steel bulkhead as well, so if you need to store stuff, so you can see it's got the cables in underneath here as well. So let's have a look in the cab. What's it like inside the Mercedes-Benz eVito? A slight update on the original one, and I think a nice update on the original one. So on the door, it's pretty similar. You've got central locking, you've got the heated 3-level seat for the driver, you've got your wing mirrors adjustments, and you've got your front driver and passenger up and down. On the actual door itself, there's like a mini pocket, and then again a large door bin that will take a large bottle underneath. Everything is wiped down, everything is hardware and plastics. Over my right knee, you've got the handbrake release, so you have to press it down with a pedal to engage it and then pull a lever, and we look at that when we drive off. You've got your automatic lights and the sensors up here in the head unit. You've got your front and rear poor weather lights, and you also have your headlight adjustment level depending on the load in the back. Steering wheel has been upgraded, and since the last one it has some multifunction buttons on it, so you can change the menu. You can also activate voice and phone. On the right hand side, like all Mercedes-Benzes, you have the mode selector, reverse, neutral, drive, and then press button to park. You've got different level regen braking. It's not one pedal driving, but there's a good number of levels there on the steering wheel paddles. And on the left hand side, then you've got your lights and your wipers. Steering wheel itself is adjustable reach and rake. So nicely done there. The key is an actual old school Mercedes-Benz key. It hasn't got the metal bit in it, but it has those it has the connectors like it always had, and then you turn it, let it engage, and then it has ready on it. Left hand dial is kilometers per hour and your battery level in analog, and on the right hand side it is whether you're taking charge from the battery by driving along or recouping it from regenerative braking, and then how much power you're taking from it. Nice, really bright screen in the middle, and that lets you know what's happening in the vehicle. Doors open, what mode you're in, the time, the range, etc, etc. So lots of good stuff happening there. On the dash, similar to the last time, so nothing much has changed there. You've got your 2 coffee cups on either side slots. You have some document holders and a pad holder in the middle then as well. Really nice head unit. Again, it's the same as it was in the last one. You've got your SOS button and you have your sunglass holder, which is always great to see. And you have the ability to turn on and off lights front and rear. Moving down into the infotainment and the central console, a few less buttons on this one and some slight changes. So it's a 7-inch screen. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay via wire built in. So you've got your nav, you've got your radio, you've got your telephone, you've got your system and your voice control, which is great. Volume button, nice to see it, and there's a mute and off, and then a selection button on the right hand side. You've got your dynamic mode selector. With regards to what the drive modes are like. It was Eco, Eco Plus, and Comfort in the last model, whereas now it's set to Eco, and then you can have dynamic if you need it. You've got your physical hazard lights, and then you've got your physical HVAC unit with temperature on the left, and on the right you've got your volumes, and you can the directions, the demisters, then the recirculations, and air conditioning, which is great to see. You've got those pockets either side, and on the original one we had a USB Type A and a little audio jack, whereas now it's a USB Type A for the phone to connect up to the infotainment, and a second USB Type A to connect a second device and have that charging. You still have your little 12-volt socket down in the middle. The middle passenger would be a small bit but this dash kind of curves out a small bit. There is no storage. You can lift the seat, but there is no storage in underneath because of the storage that goes in from the back underneath the bulkhead. I can't remember an armrest being in the last one, but there's definitely an armrest in this one, which is great to see, and it is adjustable. you've got your two visors, no mirrors again, who'd be looking at themselves. And then the glove box, which is a fairly decent size actually. And then the door on the other side is a mirror of this one, and the upgrade on this is that the heated seat on the passenger side, which is great to see. So rather than blowing a load of air, but you have that steel bulkhead. One of the ways that a battery can really be ran down in an electric vehicle is heating up the space, be that a car or a van. But with this, you've got your heated seats, which takes a lot of that out of it, and the fact that you have one or two people in here wouldn't be long getting warmed up. Let's take it out for a drive. What's it like driving the Mercedes-Benz eVito? When you turn it on, it starts to make like a buzzing noise. Maybe it's the aircon. No, it's just getting warmed up, getting itself ready. And so you turn it to the right and you get ready, and then you pull the handbrake out, and then oh yeah, it's starting to come back down again. And then you've got reverse neutral drive and park, and then dynamic. Oh, okay. So when I was going through the cab, I thought this had changed because it says dynamic, but it actually is still Eco, Eco Plus and Comfort. You still have the three options, and it defaults to Eco when you're driving. Drive-wise, you've got D minus, D plus, and D plus, and that's to do with the levels of regen. So there's 4 stages of regen. D minus is the strongest. D, away we go. Seats are lovely and comfortable and well supported actually, and the driver's seat has a couple of adjustments on it as well, height and also lumbar, and a couple of other things on there, so it's a couple of ways adjustable. As we talked about, the steering wheel is already reach and rake, and the fact that they've made it multifunction I really like. The fact that they've made the passenger seat heated I really like, so they've definitely brought it along incrementally. I know on the last video we chatted about, somebody commented saying, God, the Vito hasn't changed in years, it's the exact same. Why fix something that's not broken? Is my point. It's a tried and trusted formula. It is definitely one of the best-selling electric vans in general. Never mind electric vehicles. So it's what people are used to, and whether it's this or the e-Sprinter, the Mercedes commercial side of things is very well regarded and renowned. Even my own family business, we do carpet and furniture at home. It's always been Sprinters that we've gone for. Not my choice. It has been my dad's choice even before I got into this whole reviewing vehicles thing. I'd like to see blind spot. Would be a nice little upgrade, especially for something that's on the road all the time, but those wing mirrors are a great size. I comment on the Stellantis vans how I find that the wing mirrors are a bit small, but these are good big size and you can see everything that's going on. Lots of practicality, lots of driving spaces, lots of storage spaces, and as always you've got that nice seating position. I recently reviewed the Opel Combo E, and it had the wing mirror still up in it, or the rear view mirror, even though there was a bulkhead in it, whereas the Mercedes have removed it here, which makes a bit of sense. So driving wise, it's not sprightly, but you do get power when you need it, I suppose. And because it's in that default eco mode all the time, you are it's not as responsive as a car, but you're obviously it's a different beast. It is a van, but it gets up to speed quick enough. The steering wheel is a nice size, number one. Number two, it's well weighted in my opinion. And I love the fact that you can see elements of Mercedes-Benz passenger cars coming over, like the air vents, like the switchgear on the doors, with regards to electric windows and the heated seats. Like that's all out of Mercedes-Benz passenger vehicles. And so if it's good enough for Mercedes-Benz passenger vehicles, to get it in a commercial van, because sometimes you can see between commercial and passenger within the same brand, it's chalk and cheese, the quality. Whereas there really is a good quality feel to this. Hard wearing, it's going to last yes, a bit more expensive to buy up front, and electric vehicles will always be that way, but look at your fuel prices, look at your running costs, and take into account, as we always say on this channel, the total cost of ownership. If you're interested in electric vans and you've just found me for the first time, we're on a drive to 10,000 subscribers before the end of 2022. So if you're interested, it'd be nice if, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel, but also leave a comment and like the video. And if, as I said, if you're interested in electric vans, there is a full playlist getting bigger and bigger all the time of the vans that are available in the market. I am planning on popping over to the UK and doing some collaboration videos with Paul Kirby, electric van man over there. I know a lot of my audience is in the United Kingdom, and Paul is highly regarded within that van space, and now specifically that electric van space. So he knows what he's talking about more than I do. And Paul will probably drop into the comments there and say, yes, I do. But I enjoy Paul's company and I get on with him. So he is. I'm looking forward to doing some collaborations. Just need to get over to him and figure out what vans we're going to review together. It is a front wheel drive, and it is a 85 kilowatt motor with a 300 newton meters torque. That hasn't changed from the original eVito Gen 1. And if you were to compare it against a diesel, if you're in a diesel and you're looking to transfer over, it is comparable to a 111 CDI. Range is 314. Real world probably about 250, 260 is what we're thinking. I've been driving it for a bit now and I'm up down to 232, but it's still miles ahead of what we're talking about with the original Gen 1 eVito. It was so limiting in the range. Now, because of the bigger battery, as we talked about, it is taking a slightly smaller payload, about 200 kg smaller. So you need to remember that as well. Driving noise, well insulated. Again, there's not much in the back of this. There's nothing in the back of this, so it's a big percussion drum. But even still, with the bulkhead, there's not a lot going on here. You can hear me, I'm not shouting. Obviously going at 50 kilometers an hour, maybe up a bit higher, it would be a small bit more increased, but hopefully you've enjoyed my review of the Mercedes-Benz eVito Generation 2. Bigger battery, fast charging, all the stuff that we like to see here on EV Review Ireland. Remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching. So I returned that van, and that day I think Laura from Mercedes-Benz Commercial Vehicles Ireland sent me an email, and it was a full telematics report of exactly what I did, what my efficiency was, and this is on offer to all Mercedes-Benz commercial vehicle customers if they're taking vans out and test drive. So you can see the savings that you could make, the monetary amount, but also on the carbon side of things, the fuel economy, the consumption, the cost of driving versus a regular diesel van. So really great data, exactly how my trip was on the morning when I brought the van back. And you can see my efficiency there of 13.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is really, really good. And so it's a full suite of data. And when I was talking to Laura and Keith, I was delighted that I was very good and didn't break the speed limit, and because I didn't realize I was being tracked all the way through the press review. So a great service to have. So hopefully you've enjoyed this detail at the end.